Yo, journal entry 64, I believe. I don't know. But it's July 19th, 2022, 8:34 p.m. And like I said, man, this time should probably be the sweet spot for me just because the lighting's a little bit better and we don't look washed out from the natural light and we can just chill. Today was a decent day. Did some research on new studying material for Japanese, and then also reached out to some graduate advisors at some universities, applied to a couple of jobs, and we rinse and repeat tomorrow. Worked out as well, but we rinse and we repeat tomorrow. One thing that I did do today is, and I'm not going to be looking at the camera while I do this, is I reached out to some of my really close friends and asked them about like what are some of my skills, what are some qualities and traits that I have right now, because I believe that the best way to understand yourself outside of the way you view yourself is through the people who are closest to you that have observed you for a large sample size of like the interactions that you've had with them. And I have made a list, and through this list I kind of want to see where I can highlight my strengths, kind of add on to my strengths through character development, and then also how can I pivot my strengths into a way to monetize it as a job. And I think I've kind of figured out how I'm going to do this. And doing this series is kind of helping me build some skills that would help, develop develop what I can turn my skills that I already have and attributes that I already have that my friends have told me about into maybe a career. And let me just rattle off what my friends have said. One, empathetic, considerate, analytical, technical, within under the scope of when I am very interested in something, adaptable, good at holding conversations, making people comfortable, improvising, the propensity to improve, creating ongoing conversations, which just kind of goes back to good at holding conversations, grit, motivated, comedy, bringing people together, and disciplined. Well, the funny thing is that I don't think I'm any of that. You know what I'm saying? Which is why I think it's really good to be able to ask the people that you're closest to or people that you hang out with a bunch, what do they think some of your skills are, things that I guess they admire about you characteristically, and then kind of, peel off the layers to see what you can do with that. And I'm going to let you know, man, I don't think I'm empathetic. I don't think I'm that considerate. I 100% don't think I'm disciplined. I think people think I'm disciplined, like, relative to them. But for me, I don't think I'm disciplined at all. It's just that when I have a hobby, I want to excel at it. And even though I'm struggling with it, I work hard to try to overcome, those deficiencies that I may have. And if people think that's what it means to be motivated, what it means to be disciplined, what it means to have grit to overcome adversity, then so come and so forth. But here's the thing. That doesn't make me any better than anybody else, because all the people who I've asked about these characteristics of myself also have these qualities. So there's nothing that's too distinguishable. But that's not to say that this isn't a good foundation of skills to have, like personal skills to have, characteristics to have, in order to be, I don't know, or in order to have some direction to find out what I want to do or what I can do that makes me a better, makes me able to leverage myself in the best capacity to, like, professionally with the job. So maybe I can find something that I want to do. And after talking to my friends, I do believe that I have found something that I want. As you guys know, I'm on the journey right now of trying to get into graduate school. I don't think that's going to happen, just given my situation and the requirements to get into graduate school and the limited amount of time that I have to be able to do it by fall of 2023. Some people would be saying, then why don't you shoot for fall 2024? It's because I like to give myself a timeline to achieve some goals and then set out to hit those goals. And if I can't get into grad school in 2023, then I will find an alternative way to be able to get to Japan. And that is working in Japan, working for a full year, the full year working in Japan, building up a savings account, and then getting an undesirable job that pays under what I believe I am qualified for as a professional, and living off of my savings in conjunction with working that type of job while I build my language up, build my connections up there, and then be able to find different type of work. So that's what we're trying to do. But another thing that I've realized is that there's a big duality between the way you perceive yourself and the way other people perceive you. So you are like in essence two different beings or multiple different beings based off of multiple different people of their view of you and the way you view yourself. Because like I said, I don't believe I view myself in any sort of light that these words that my friends described me as. But to digress into, not digress, but to transition into what I think I can do based off of what my skill set is from what my friends have told me is that I think I'm going to still go down the path of interpretation and being an interpreter and translations between Japanese and English, but I also think I'm going to do interviews. I kind of want to do interviews with content creators and artists that want to kind of get their not start in a English speaking country, but to help bridge uh their language barrier with their English speaking audience language barrier, and kind of get to know you interviews. So I think going forward, uh I'm going to start interviewing some of my friends about just themselves and trying to get this rapport down of how to become a good interviewer, asking questions, but and being able to listen, respond, ask in the moment questions, and then figure out how to edit that together and ship it out on YouTube or just somewhere, even if it means I have it out on a database that or a hard drive that I can refer back to kind of see how I can polish up my skills, how to become a better interviewer, become more engaging, right? Because I think there's a lot of things that my friends have told me that goes into interviewing that are very strong, that based off of the skills that they said. I think being empathetic, considerate is really good. I think analytical is very good as well, because you're taking information that people are saying to you based off of your questions, so their response, and then digesting it and then giving an appropriate response back. Being technical, I don't really know about that. Adaptable, being able to adapt throughout conversations and being able to steer the conversation in a great way, holding a conversation. So I believe a good interviewer is having a conversation with the guest, not interrogating them or just doing a question and answer series. So you're making it feel as though you're having a very cohesive conversation, and then the person who's watching or listening feels like they are there, like as a bystander, obviously. Improvisation, once again, that kind of goes back to adaptability, making people feel comfortable. I think that goes well with being an interviewer. If you can make people feel comfortable throughout the interviewing section or the interview, then they are going to, give the best answers that they can give. The propensity to improve, that will, I guess, like filter into me wanting to, improve my skill of becoming an interviewer and honing that. Creating ongoing conversations, kind of going back to good at holding conversations, is being able to keep a good cohesive narrative going. Grit, I don't think that, I can't think of anything on the spot of how that relates to it. Motivated, I guess, like being motivated to improve always. Comedy, I guess you got to be entertaining to be a good interviewer as well. And by entertaining in the sense that you're not the one that's per se the spotlight of entertainment, but the person who you're interviewing is, and bringing out aspects of them that makes them funny or makes them a little more entertaining in aspects that you wouldn't see them in otherwise. Bringing people together, I guess that's what I'm really thinking about, is bridging the gap between the consumer and the artist slash content creator. And discipline, I guess being disciplined means I can really figure this out and make this into a career, and having a business plan. So And kind of to segue into that, I think with that being said, I'm going to figure out a business plan to do. I'm really going to figure out a business plan to do. And with that business plan, I am going to one, develop the brand. I'm going to have to do research on it, develop what the show is going to be about, and then figure out which platforms it's going to be on. And I think it's going to have to be on all platforms, unfortunately. And that's going to be a lot of work coming that I'm going to have to put on myself on top of all the studying that I'm going to be doing. But I'm probably going to be tired. I'm probably going to have some sleepless nights coming up, especially. I mean, right now I'm fortunate that I have an abundance of time to be able to, kind of kickstart this. And I think that's what we should be doing, what I should be doing. When I say we, I mean like, yeah, we, me and you, me and everybody who wants to go on this journey. It's a team effort. And really hone this in. So I guess tomorrow I got to start brainstorming stuff. Okay. And figuring out this business plan on top of doing all my studying. So we're fine with that. But that's all I have to talk about today, is that there is a duality of perception of who you are, how you view yourself, and how others you view yourself. And I think it's very important to ask the people closest to you how they view you, so you can grow from that and see how you can improve. So that's it. That's all I have to talk about today. And yeah, we'll get started with all of this tomorrow. Toodaloo.